Welcome everyone to Widows Wednesday, and here we are again, honey, traveling. So this is being filmed from the Viking Star in the Mediterranean Sea. So we are actually at our first well, actually, it's our second stop.
Second port of call.
Right.
Right.
Last night we took off and came here. This is Marseille, France, and I'll show you a quick little glimpse out the window. Hold on. See if you can see it. Check it out. It's actually very industrial. We thought for sure it would be like you open up your window and you see all this fancy whatever and a bunch of cute little boats and whatnots, but yeah, no, it's a little industrial and a few mountains.
Yeah, it's not
No,
it's not Barcelona. We
No.
spent the last 2 days in Barcelona,
Yes.
which was fabulous, absolutely fabulous.
Fabulous.
My gosh.
And so it's interesting to me because when you tell somebody, oh, yeah, we're going on a Mediterranean cruise, and they are like, wow, you know, gee, lucky you, da 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 da. I'm like, well, like everything else, you guys, in our lives, there's a backstory there. And part of this backstory, which some of you may know, a lot of people don't know, but before I even knew you,
Right.
let's just say that.
Right. Right.
Say what happened there, babe.
Right. Oh, well, you know, my sister-in-law reached out to me and said, hey, Bruce, John and I, her name's Connie, they want to spend time with me, you know, which I thought was so kind of them.
Honey.
Well,
Okay, onward.
yeah. Now I lost my train of thought completely. But anyway, yeah, they reached out to me and wanted to spend some time with me. And I'm like, great, what would you like to do? I said, well, you've never been on a Disney cruise. And they're like, there's a reason why we haven't been on a Disney cruise.
5,000 kids.
I know, right? But they said, okay, let's go. So we went, my sister and I, and John and Connie went on a Disney cruise. And they said, okay, we suffered through that, so now we get to pick the next thing. And this was the next thing that they wanted to do.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, well, I'll book it. Somebody will go with me. Hopefully not my sister. I would have liked it to be somebody a little more special. You know, nothing against my brother. I love him too, but you know.
So you had planned this, you did not know me.
Correct.
Interesting, right?
Yeah.
So he's making these plans, he doesn't know me, and he has an extra ticket. You also told me something about how you had asked the Lord certain things about your future wife and things that how could you have possibly known?
Right. Well, I didn't ask. He just told me.
Oh, I thought you asked him.
Well, it's like a little conversation. Sometimes you get the answer from the Lord immediately.
Well,
and
you kept a little journal on it, right?
Right.
Well, he asked how old I was.
Right. Right.
And on this, he said 55.
Right.
And I am 55 years old.
Right.
So that's like part of his side of it. So on my side of it, while Daryl was ill, Stephanie, my daughter Stephanie, and my son-in-law Kevin, and myself and Daryl planned a Mediterranean cruise. And I got all the A-OKs from the doctors. Every doctor signed off because he was at that time doing very well, and it was very encouraging. So we thought, let's do this trip. You know, it's a biggie, a doozy, let's do it.
Yeah.
And so we booked it. And then about a month before our trip, Daryl started having seizures, and that took us off. And so the four of us were crying upset a little, like, are you kidding? And so we were denied the chance to go on this trip. The kids went, we said, go, please, just email us, you know, the whole thing, and me and Steph talked like every day. What's going on? You
But
know.
that must have been heartbreaking for you, honestly, to
It
have
was
the ship of a
heartbreaking.
lifetime.
It was
And not be
heartbreaking.
able to go.
But the interesting thing to me is that when God says He wants to abundantly bless you, it's no joke. Like, I feel like, Lord, you're giving me back. I didn't even know. He told me about the trip later, and then I'm like, you have no idea what you're saying to me right now. I'm like, you know, but I'm like, God, you're giving me back an even greater trip, because this is twice as long as what we were going to go.
Yeah.
And I am in just shock and awe, seriously, about it. And I thought, Lord, how good you are, you know. I was taking care of your son. Daryl was God's son. That's what he says. That's what he calls us. We're heirs. We're his kid. You're his kid. You're his kid, honey.
Yeah.
And even during all that backstory of our backstory, God was working back there to bring about what's happening right now.
Yeah, I've just seen so much this year written about 2018, how God is giving back what the enemy has tried to steal, you know, and even more so in abundance.
Yeah.
So take heart. If the enemy has stolen from you and you are his, okay, he's going to give back to you. This year is an awesome year of giving back. I can give you lots of examples, you know, even most recently, you know, I was given back from my daughter's wedding, where we had overpaid something and I wasn't even expecting it, you know, and it just came back.
It's awesome.
And, you know, God wants to restore. God doesn't want us to lose anything. He allows it. Sometimes it happens, like in your case.
And you wonder, what's the greater purpose in that, you know?
Yeah.
We have chit-chatted with a few people, you know, concerning what it is that we do and what we're doing. But we haven't mingled too much yet, because we're just starting our journey here. But I'm looking forward to seeing what else God does with that.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you don't know the Lord, honestly, it's so simple. You just, God, these two, how does this work?
Yeah.
And it's just, Lord, forgive me. Forgive me. Come into my heart. Work on me. Help me to become that person that you would have me be.
And we're all filled.
Beautiful.
We're all filled with that void, and we go through life trying to find things that'll satisfy us. But you know, nothing satisfies. This cruise, we kind of named it the hoity-toity cruise, and I said, okay, you be hoity and I'll be toity.
Yeah.
Well, it's really not like that. There's a lot of just really average, good people on the cruise.
Beautiful. We're having a great time.
You know.
So we're going to be filming throughout, and then we will edit, you know, as we did with the Florida trip.
Right.
And if you're new to Widows Wednesday, just check on the first video, and you'll understand a little bit more, maybe about, you know, what I'm about.
Yeah.
So.
There's hope.
Yay!
There's a plan. Right.
There is a plan.
And
it's good too.
We're just thrilled to be showing you the goodness that he's bringing back in our lives. After.
And the beautiful thing, which I really love too about God's word, is he says that he is no respecter of persons.
Amen.
It's not, oh, look at Suzie and Bruce. No, it is not.
Yeah.
Trust me, Suzie and Bruce know Suzie and Bruce.
That's right.
You know?
We're just as much a wreck as anybody is or
we're
was.
average wrecks.
Right, exactly.
But we're like willing. I'm like, God, I'm willing.
Yeah.
I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to go a step further.
Even
I'm willing to be better.
Even on a cruise, honey, you know, I think I can speak for your heart and mine. We're looking for people who the Lord wants to speak to. You know, we're looking to give somebody a word of encouragement who needs it, you know?
We are. And it was interesting because in Barcelona, we were supposed to hang up, but you know what? We're going to babble on. In Barcelona yesterday, we were leaving this big fancy pants church, and outside of it, there's these little guys,
Oh
One
my
had no
gosh.
leg, and
Yeah.
the other one had no arms, and they're sitting there begging for money. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't take it.
Right.
I'm like, do you have any coins?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and euros will just, we bless them. And I'm like, I don't speak Spanish, so I didn't know what to say. I put my hand on his shoulder. I'm like, oh. And he goes, oh, yeah, you know, like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, how can we
Yeah.
help?
Because a lot of people would just pass by those people, and I think
know,
the way
it's-
you touched them was very important. It made them feel, something a little more special.
Yeah, not just throw a coin in there. It's
Right,
just like
right.
a little compassion
Right.
towards them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it brought me thinking of Jesus' day and people lying at the gates and,
Right.
cripples or
Yeah.
whatever. And I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
rise up,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's fun. We're having a great time, you guys, and we're looking forward to clicking back on and showing you a little bit more here and there as we
Yep.
go.
Yep.
So,
So don't forget to like and subscribe.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be towards the end too, babe. This is part 1
Yeah.
of I don't know how
Part
many.
one of-
It may take a while.
Right.
All right, I gotta
Right.
click off. Okay.
All right.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. Bye.